That's why he went after the law firms. He said, I'm gonna attack your money. See, that's what people don't understand. This is what people drives me crazy, Greg, people don't get. There's only one federal agency that shares a lawn with the White House. Y'all, one. Treasury. Y'all need to understand, the White House, power. Treasury, money. Power, money, money, power. So Donald Trump knew, this is how I can bring all of my perceived enemies to their knees, to make them bend over, to make them blow me, to make them kiss my ass, lick my toes, kiss my ring. I'm gonna go after your money. So what did he do with the law firms? I'm taking your security clearance. Oh, now you can't represent these clients. Now you can't represent these cases. Y'all, do y'all understand if you're in a law firm, you know what the most important thing? Not one client, not somebody paying who's trying, no.
Billable hours.
It's those, no, not even billable hours.
It's the access.
It's the retainer fees. It's, every month we're getting 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, the retainer fees. So Donald Trump said, I'm gonna attack the money. So all of those law firms said, oh shit, okay, we'll cut a deal. He's like, oh no, part of the deal is you're gonna have to defend my interests. Okay, small firms are the ones that fought back. Major law firms, they bent the knee. So then he said, okay, Columbia, Harvard, I'm going after your research money. I'm gonna sit here, okay, Harvard, it's cool. Y'all can't exist without international students. I'm gonna stop them from coming. Yeah, that's why the schools are, so now, what did Gavin Newsom say? Gavin Newsom said point blank. He said, I dare. He said, I dare a California school buckle. He said, you think you're gonna lose federal funding? You can't exist without state funding. I dare you to buckle. So he went after the schools. That's what he's doing. So he understood, this is what these evil people understood. Greg, they understood America is a capitalistic system. And people can claim they love freedom. They can claim they love their guns. They can claim they love freedom of speech. But ain't nothing Americans, especially white Americans, care more about than money. And right now, there are progressive billionaires who are scared. Bezos got FU money. The owners of Google, FU money. Zuckerberg, FU money. But Trump said, I can go after your money. So Bezos, I could sit here and lean on the Postal Service and jack up the fees. So guess what then happens? Jeff? When you send one of these packages, I'm a triple, quadruple the price. I'm gonna mess with your stock price. All of them. So he went after the money. And that's how he got them to bend the knee. Because America, it's about the money, Greg.
You're right, Roland. I think, and I wish Nola would weigh in on this.
Yeah, she got to go. So, Greg, make your point. We'll make a last point. She claims she's gonna fit some gumbo, but we'll.
My bad. But then I'm gonna hurry up. The United States is in the world, and the global economy, whether it be Temu, whether it be Amazon, ain't the only game in the world, and they want to be globally dominant. I think. In the short term, they thought there were still some guardrails and there were still some norms, so they were willing to go along. But as this thing has unfolded, and it's clear, two things are clear. First of all, Trump is mentally unwell, and who knows how long he's going to even be alive. So, there's that. And then all the forces that putting the batteries in his back, you got a full-bred racist and fascist in terms of Steve Miller and Steve Bannon and them. Then you got Musk and them boys and Peter Thiel and their hand-picked Manchurian candidate, Junior Varsity Vance, who's chomping to get in the chair. They got their own interests. It's falling apart. It's unsustainable. The more desperate they get, the more the money people are like, whoa, 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 especially since the world is now working on workarounds. Scheinbaum in Mexico, Canada making deals with the EU, Brazil emerging as a market for soybeans, even as they just sent $20 billion because Besant got a friend down there who put all this money in the Argentinian economy, and now they're going to repurpose that money, and then Mississippi and Midwest farmers got to eat them damn soybeans. The money boys now are realizing, wait, they're getting ready to destabilize the entire global market. So as a result, things are beginning to loosen up. If they've struck a deal in Israel, it ain't got nothing to do with the Palestinians. It ain't got nothing to do with immorality. The money boys, remember Jared Kushner showed up in Cairo earlier this week. The money boys are like, this is terrible for business. And BB, we back you because you got us by the genitals. But right now, you are a pariah state. And you about to mess with our money because the Saudis are in here now. Qatar is in here now. Qatar done gave this fool a plane and basically bought the presidency of the United States. The money is cooling to the idea of domestic U.S. nativism. And as a result, I think there's an opening here for us perhaps to make some advancement to pull this maniac back from the brink. But I do think you're right about the money boys. I just think that that's a conversation that has to be had in a global context, not just the four corners of the United States.
And the reality, Nola, the reason America's had so strong in the foreign policy area is because of the money. But when Nola, when all of a sudden, when you cause other countries to start saying, we gonna bypass y'all, and y'all are actually dependent, your $30 trillion U.S. economy is actually dependent upon our spending as well, and then we can bypass y'all, oh yeah, the crying will commence. Nola, go ahead and make your comment before you gotta go.
Absolutely. And let me just be very clear about this. I just had a Kamala Harris moment. Let me be clear. The rest of the world was already kind of cooling on us to begin with. I'll give you an example. The way that China does business is through development. The way we do business is through security. And there is a case with Niger. We had a security cooperation agreement with them, and they did not like the way that we were doing business. So they told us peace. They say, y'all just coming in here acting just like the French colonizers. Why should we continue to do business with you? So my point is this. Before we got to where we are now, to where, at least 3 toes are in hell, the waters were already cooling towards U.S. everything, right? Our partners and allies were already kind of like side-eyeing us, yes, working with us on things like Ukraine and other projects. But Europe was already talking about its own security for quite some time. What the Trump administration in these, 10 months has done has just escalated that conversation, because people are starting to look around the world. They're looking at different stock markets. They're looking at their bank statements. They're looking at the fact that the U.S. dollar is weakening. Let me say that again. The U.S. dollar is weakening. I remember as a very, 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 very young undergrad where everyone was worried because, the EU had its own currency, and they were proclaiming that the EU was our enemy because they wanted to replace the American dollar. Well, here we are, America, we're doing it ourselves. We're doing it to our own currency, right? We are devaluing everything. And so I had a conversation recently, this is the last thing I'll say before I got to go and not cook gumbo, Roland, is I was having a conversation with an ambassador recently, and she said, the question she keeps going to is this: what is the end goal? They came in saying they wanted to affect all this change, all the BS that they said, all the things, right? But everything is an absolute disaster. They do not know how to govern. We've been saying that. We warned people about that. What is the end goal in all of this chaos? Where are we going with this by completely destroying our reputation around the world?
Oh, no, that is the end goal. That's the end goal. What the end goal is? The end goal is to completely destroy so many facets of the government that they lose in 2028. You can't even put things back in 4 years. So that's the whole design. Listen, these Silicon Valley boys, they want no regulation. So their whole deal is we want to destroy as much as we can. So essentially what they want to do to America is what Bibi did to Gaza. I'm gonna blow everything up. And then y'all figure out what y'all gonna do afterwards, because that's what they want. To Greg's point, go to my iPad. Big investors await windfall from Trump's Argentina bailout. Where are all the conservatives who said stop spending money on foreign governments? It's amazing how quiet they are. That's $20 billion. So that's all. We know what this game is. But the bottom line is this here. What we have to do, and again, what Latasha say, the way you stop this evil, you can actually vote them out. You can be Elon Musk, and you can have 45 billion, whatever. You can own Twitter. You can do whatever. But guess what? You only get one vote. We can throw these assholes out. We can actually disrupt the system. We can shut all that down. Not gonna do it if we stay on that couch.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.